All right, we are at the top of the hour here. Want to thank everybody for joining us today for Dave Pimper's Social Security Claiming Guide webinar. This is Brady Pelzer. I am an annuity sales director here at IAMS. And before we get into Social Security, we're going to talk to you a little bit about IAMS. If you are already a contracted agent, you know a great deal of the resources we're going to cover here. If you are not already a contracted agent, certainly look forward to getting some engagement here, telling you a little bit more about the benefits of working with us here at IAMS. Those that are not contracted, what we do have is our new producer builders. Oh, this is for the first 6 months of productivity as a contracted agent with us here at IAMS. On top of the commissions and marketing reimbursement dollars you are garnering through production, we also have this program to further incentivize you as a new producer with us here at IAMS. Your first 6 months, as you can see, starts at the $100,000 level, 250 all the way to $1 million. You can see the different qualifications and incentives that are included for each tier. Another way we have been building our business as well as reimbursing, thanking producers that work with us here at IAMS is through our IAMS Business Builders program. As you can see, it's a $50 one-time bonus when you have a referred agent contract with us. We'll also pay you $100 for their first case submission, and quarterly we'll pay you ongoing for their production. As you can see, indexed annuities, 20 basis points. These are some of the biggest checks that we cut each quarter. Again, just a nice thank you from a partnership standpoint, mutually beneficial. We thank you greatly for any referral you're kind enough to throw our way, and we'll even pay you for such. One thing we really hang our hats on here at IAMS would be our back office support. This starts with our IAMS site, where you can see business building tools and resources. Call in to any sales director, both on the life and the annuity side. We're always there for case design assistance. Forms at your fingertips. We have accessible forms as well as same thing. Call into your sales director, ask for whatever form you're needing. We'll go ahead, track it down. And furthermore would be case submission. So when any case is submitted with us here at IAMS, we scrub it, be sure that the applications are clean and in good order. That would be the initial step. Send it over to the carrier, as well as throughout the underwriting and suitability process, we're going to be babysitting it. We're going to be quarterbacking it. Any outstanding requirement that we get bounced back on, we'll be the first to know. You'll immediately be the second to know. Really take pride in the time it takes from submission to issue. One resource that helps with the service element of things would be our FireLight eApp system. The vast majority of our carriers are now booted up in our FireLight system. As some of you may be familiar with FireLight eApp submissions, it's an easy one-stop shop rather than going through each carrier, specifically their portal, or if you're doing a paper application, you can access each of these carriers via FireLight. And again, it's a one-stop shop. Any submission that you have with any of these carriers, you go direct through our IAMS site, select that specific carrier, the specific product. Again, really eases the process from submission to issue. On average, FireLight gets into the carrier's hands 3 to 4 business days quicker, especially in these turbulent market times. If we have funds that are exposed to market risk, those 3 to 4 business days could really be beneficial to your clients. Another thing we take great pride in here at IAMS would be our customization. And with customization comes the marketing element of such. As you can see here, our creative marketing team, again, we have a whole department dedicated to just that, identifying, building out a brand for you and or your agency. That could be as simple as turnkey traditional solutions, professionally written letters, handouts, flyers, to, again, agency solutions, logo design, whether it be collaboration or having us quarterback that project on your behalf, the development of business cards with that brand, that logo on such, as well as digital solutions, most of which would be personal websites. Again, marketing reimbursement, we're real big here at IMES about allowing these marketing templates to play out organically. As much as we can possibly avoid it, we do not want the agents, advisors we work with to be coming out of pocket. We like to have these marketing platforms develop organically. That would include a personal website development, digital marketing strategies, big things, social media. We have great members on our creative team, as well as each member on our sales floor has experience dealing with social media and really maximizing the opportunity of the free marketing in which social media presents. Again, as I referenced earlier, our IMES website, highly encourage anybody on this call to go ahead, give it a check. You can see right there, we spend a great deal of our revenue, pump it right back into you, the agent, on agent support. This includes excellent sales tools, term quoters. It is always accessible. We have our forms online, as well as feel free to reach out to your dedicated sales director. And we also have our IMES wealth management. So our key focuses since the inception of our organization, IMES, have been life and annuity business. We also have our wealth management division. As you can see, it is a registered RIA, registered investment advisory. If you do not presently have your Series 65 licensing, but are interested in obtaining such, our wealth management team will help you out in the process. If you presently don't have securities as part of your planning, but it is something of interest to you, highly encourage you to reach out to your dedicated sales director here or directly to our wealth management division. We can get you the information you need. And with that said, if you are interested in learning a little bit more about our IMES wealth management, feel free. Indicate yes, can certainly leave it open for about 5 more seconds. Alrighty, thank you everyone that voted. We'll certainly get you further information for those that indicated such. Another neat thing we provide here at IMES would be our life and annuity academies. This year, we've already conducted 2. We have another one upcoming in September from the 14th through the 16th, as well as a 4th tentatively scheduled for November. The one in September is here in Omaha in our home office. In November, looking at Des Moines, Iowa. This is all expenses paid. Very popular event. Space is limited. So certainly highly encourage you, if you are interested in attending a future life and annuity academy, feel free to reach out to any dedicated sales director here at IMES, as well as I'll post a poll here in a second, but you can see the benefits of attending these life and annuity academies. The big thing is really we're not touching on product specifically. What we're talking about is conceptualizing, what are top producers doing out here in the field? What are they doing from a marketing standpoint? What are they doing from a sales process standpoint? And then we touch on some other topics that are noteworthy. One would be macro tax planning, always a popular subject, especially as we get to the tail end of 2022, head into the tax season of 2023. Very timely concept. Business insurance concepts, key person, buy sell agreement, the whole 9 yards. Really a great opportunity. And if you are interested in receiving more information on those upcoming academies, please feel free, indicate yes. We'll certainly get some more information out your way. All righty. Thank you everyone that voted. Certainly we'll get you information for those that did indicate yes for such. Another neat thing we do here at IMES would be our Top Producers Summit. This one would be for 2023. We are going to Park City, Utah. As you can see in the pictures, it's a spa-like resort. $3 million of Athene annuity production. The qualification period is through 2022, so still ample time, especially given the conditions that we're seeing in the marketplace. It's a great time to have these annuity-based conversations. Ample time to qualify for this trip. Again, just a nice thank you from us to you for partnering with us here at IMES, as well as congratulating you on your work. $3 million of annuity production. It certainly doesn't go unnoticed. We want to reward those that go the extra mile, are doing great work for great individuals in your planning. And lastly, follow and like us on Facebook, LinkedIn. Give our pages a check out. We're all consistently posting timely subject matter on there. It might be one of those deals. You go to Facebook, check our timeline, you get one great idea right there. I've heard that countless times being on the phones with agents, advisors across the country. We really try to look out for those that we work with, both from a marketing and service standpoint, as well as key events, current events, keeping up to date with the marketplace, both in the macro and the micro in our world, life and annuity. Certainly always want to be the most prepared we can be for the agents, advisors that we work with. And that will bring us over to Dave Pimper, and he'll certainly jump right into Social Security Claiming Guide.
Brady, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well, Dave. How about yourself, my friend?
Wonderful, wonderful. So you get kind of a briefing of IAMS, what we're going to talk today, and thank you for being patient through kind of the intro, but we're going to talk about Social Security claiming. And if you can kind of get that up and going, Brady, that would be great.
Do you want me to quarterback the slides, Dave?
Absolutely, that's fine. Yep.
All right, that sounds good. Let me go ahead and get that pulled up here real.
And thank you, everybody. We got a good amount of folks on with us today. This is going to be a 25 or 30-minute webinar talking about Social Security claiming, how it could possibly raise the production for yourself within your practice. So it's if you have any questions, as Brady's getting up the slides here, just go ahead and type them in, and we'll be happy to answer those for you as we go through the presentation. Been in the business for 41 years. It's a long time to be in the production business, and 11 of those I've really understood Social Security claiming. I do a lot of workshops, over 100 in Social Security claiming alone, but over 550 total public workshops since I started I started in 81. I started doing workshops in 85, but I've been very, very consistent. And there's three ways actually to get, which we will talk about as we go through, that you can get coached up on Social Security. Again, if there's any questions, certainly give me a call. We'll go to the next slide here. If you're going to run that, Brady. There we go. So this is kind of interesting. It says most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security claiming. By Sarah O'Brien from CNBC, she says the majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor. A recent study concluded it's true. Most advisors, only about 1 in every 20 really understand Social Security. We can go to the next slide. So let's take a test. And on this test, we'll see how you do. There's 5 questions, okay? So only 1 in 300 seniors could ace this test. We can go to the next slide. To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? So let's say you're a single person. To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? What's the answer there? Okay, we can show it. It's not full retirement age. Keep going, Brady. There's 2 more clicks on this slide. There you go. Answer is 70. Doesn't help to wait past 70. So the answer is 70. Next slide. What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you are not disabled? Know what that answer is? Okay, Brady, go ahead and, yeah, it is age 60. Okay? Survivor's benefits you can take two years earlier at a 28.5% discount. Next slide. Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Yay or nay? Okay, here we go. Yep, you do. Next slide. Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Yay or nay? Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Yay or nay? Yeah, they can. If 4 stipulations are met. Now, if you get, hold on. If you get 2 of the 4 stipulations correct on this, I'll give this answer to you. Just write down 2 of the 4 things that have to be met for divorced spouses to receive a spousal benefit. Well, here's the 4. You need to get 2 of those right. What's the first one? You're currently unmarried. Well, the first one was married for 10 years. Then let's go to the next one. It'll probably say currently unmarried. Yeah. Not your ex, but you, the one claiming the benefit. Number 3, ex is at least 62. And number 4, marriage lasted or divorce was 2 years ago or longer. Married for at least 10 years. You're currently unmarried, not your ex. Doesn't make a difference. X is at least 62 and the divorce was at least 2 years ago or longer. If you got 2 of those right, I'm going to give you the answer, but you have to have all of those right to go in and use. And why is that important? Because people who have spousal benefits, they do have more options. It may not help you, but it very well could. Next slide. Which is number 5. Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you are divorced? Yay or nay? Okay. Yeah. And those 4 stipulations have to be met. I know we just went through them, so I know you can get 2 or 4 of them. So you think of yourself, how did you think you did there on those 5 questions? I mean, if you got 1 or 2, maybe even 3, you start knowing quite a bit if you're not guessing. But if you got 1 or 2, you need some helps. And the 3 ways you can get coached up on Social Security claiming through myself and IAMS, the FMO that Brady represents, is through seminar marketing. $2,750. Get the seminar. Get a recording of me doing that seminar. Free Social Security software for 3 months. You get coached up on Social Security for 3 45-minute sessions from me. That's paid for by IAM, so you don't pay for it. There's about 20 plus attachments that you get. There's just a show of what we hand out at the seminar. Yeah, I mean, you get coached up, so there's no cost to you if you're doing the marketing. Retirement Boss Radio, having to be your own radio host. We just put up a larger city in the Northeast here this last week. There's still spots available, but we're branding that nationally. Retirement Boss Radio. I'm averaging 2 to 3 appointments a week. That's the average. And we coach you up on Social Security also, because that's about a third of all the prospecting leads that come in are through Social Security claiming. So in the cost maybe $3,000 to $4,000 a month, I would say, or you can just pay $800 and I'll coach you up for 4 sessions, 4 45-minute sessions for $800. So Social Security, I mean, if you don't know it and you're working with that pre-retired or just retired, you should. So do you think Social Security ran a surplus or a deficit last year, 2021? Well, if you said deficit, you can go to the next slide. Oh, actually, this is on how important is Social Security. Yeah, it's extremely important. Almost 60% of all retirees count their Social Security benefit to be the major source of income. More than retirement plans like 401ks, more than savings and earnings. Social Security is extremely important. Next slide. From Jana Heron from USA Today says doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. So I ask yourself, how much does Social Security claiming at the wrong time cost you? Get a load of this next bit of factual information. Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Jeez. Overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. Yeah, that's just incredible. I mean, 96% didn't take it at the right time to maximize their Social Security. That's how many people we can help. Next slide. Kind of a stroll down memory lane. I mean, the Social Security Act, signed in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, enacted Social Security through the New Deal. First check in 1940. 65 was the only age. It changed in 1943, but up to 1943, 65 was the only age you could take Social Security. Pretty wild. Because the average age of death was around 62. Now the average age, if you make it to 65, it's well into the 80s for both male and female. In 61, John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy, reduced the early retirement age from 65 down to 62. Cost of living allowances became automatic in 75. There was no taxation until 83 with Ronald Reagan, and then a higher, up to 85% of all income is taxed for Social Security in 1993, if you're above certain levels for your income. There isn't big changes year to year. Your full retirement age changes, COLAs could change, but big changes once every 7 to 10 years. That's about what it has been in the past. Last one was in 2015 of the Bipartisan Budget Act. All right, next slide.
Dave actually did have a question
Yep.
come in, and we
Okay.
may touch on this. However, can a person start Social Security and stop and restart later? For example, a 62-year-old decides they want to take Social Security at full retirement age. Can they change that? And what are the rules concerning stopping and restarting later?
Yeah. So what happens is if you're under full retirement age, if you start it, if you withdraw it within 1 year, you can do it. Pay back all your money, act as if it's never happened. You can do that one time. If it's over the year's time and you're under full retirement age, you cannot stop it. So if you start at 62 and you want to stop it in 64, can't do it. Only can stop it if you're full retirement age. If you're full retirement age, all you can stop it, earn your delayed retirement credits, but you have to wait to full retirement age. Withdrawals are within 1 year. Suspensions is more than 1 year, but then you have to let it run until full retirement age to suspend it. Okay. So here's the dates or ages that are important for Social Security. Age 62. That's the first age you could start it. Depending on your full retirement age and when you were born, it's going to be discounted somewhere between 25 and 30%. If you take it full retirement age, you get the full benefit. If you wait later than full retirement age, and it doesn't help to wait past 70. If you wait past 70, you just don't get the benefit. You lose it. So almost everybody, not everybody. I've ran into a couple of people that did, but and lost money, but age 70 is when you must take it or just lose the benefit. It all starts from full retirement age. Next slide. I like this slide because it asks if Social Security can have a huge value if you claim at your right time. Not the right time, not a right time, but claim at your right time. That's what Social Security claiming can really, really help you. Next slide. We ran a decrease last year. First time in a long time. First time really in like 39, 40 years is the last time that we ran a deficit. The Social Security Trust Fund has about $2.8 trillion in it, and it buys government special issue bonds, special issue treasury bonds. Has no market value adjustment with interest rate fluctuation. Pretty cool thing. But what happens is the government years ago started borrowing against, and now they've either borrowed against or sold out virtually all the bonds in the portfolio and replaced it with an IOU from the United States government. A lot of people think this is a Ponzi scheme. I don't. I mean, it has the same full faith and credit backing that your currency does. So it's extremely safe. I'm not worried one bit. I don't lose one eye wink of sleep. But we did run a deficit, and if it stays up now with the snowballing with all the retireds, baby boomers retiring, it would go down. The trust fund will be down to zero in the year 2035, 34 or 35. So what happens is, if it's down to zero, a lot of people think then Social Security is bankrupt. Well, the trust fund's bankrupt. Remember, we're a pay-as-you-go system. Those payroll taxes of 6.2% you pay, and the 6.2% your employer pays, or if you're self-employed, you pay both sides of it. Yeah, that's what funds the trust fund. So it's a pay-as-you-go system. We've been paying in. You can look off how much you paid in, how much your employer's paid in. Next slide. So how will they firm up this trust fund? It's either going to be through raising the age limit of like full retirement. Now it's 66 to 67. Maybe raise that to 68 to 69 or 69 to 70. People are living much longer now than they ever have. I'm not in favor of more taxation, but I think that's going to probably be a compromise of what happens. To go in and to put solvency back. Which it's in right now. We got 2.8 trillion, but it will be, it'll be plummeting down here, billions, if not hundreds of billions, in the next years to come. All right, any questions? Just type them in. Next slide. Remember, it is a pay-as-you-go system. Payroll taxes. Does the USA borrow against? Yeah, they do. They borrow against. It's not a Ponzi scheme. Absolutely not a Ponzi scheme. Never missed a payment. If you think this is because nothing hard to back Social Security, then you would say that you believe that the currency in your pocket is a Ponzi scheme, which of course it's not. But it has the full faith and credit of the United States government. Okay? Any questions? Certainly type them on in. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. All right, next slide. How do you figure out Social Security? It's complicated. That's why we have software. But 40 quarters of coverage. That's you get like income. How you get a quarter of coverage. So if you have $1,510 in any quarter, excuse me, you're going to go on in and get a quarter of coverage. You get 4 a year. You have to earn them in each quarter, but if you have 1,510 times 4 is 6,040. You do that January 1. You just made yourself 4 quarters of coverage. It's the earnings over your working career. The more you make, up to a point, the more you'll get. What age you start the benefit? Earlier start. If you start before full retirement age, it's going to be decreased. If you wait later, the full retirement age is going to go up in value. Take your 35 highest inflation adjusted years, not your top 5 or your top 10, but your top 3. It's your top 35 inflation adjusted years. And the cost of living this year's the highest it's been for almost 40 years, 5.9%. Looks like it's going higher here when it comes out. Actually, the fiscal year for the U.S. is September, end of September. So we know it comes out about 10th, 11th, 12th of October is when the amount will come out for COLA. Next slide. Happy dog. First year birthday. Yeah, if you're born from 43 to 54, your full retirement age is 66. If you're born in 55, it's 66 years and 2 months. I was born in 55. 56, 66.4. Stair steps up 2 months up to 67. A newborn born today, 67 is their full retirement. So you get the full benefit, not discounted. It's not increased. It's just the full benefit, normal benefit. Next slide. Take early, it's reduced. Depends on if your FRA, full retirement age, is 66 to 67. But there's going to be, if you took it 62, there's anywhere from a 25 to a 30% discount in your Social Security benefit. Yep. And then it stair steps up to the full retirement age. Next slide.
Dave, we did have a question come in.
Yep. Okay.
And that would be, what income does not count against Social Security?
Well, it's wage income. So like if you took pension income, if you took annuity income, it does not count. If you had farm income coming in, it does not count. But wage income, 1099, W-2 income, that is what counts. Okay? So if it's passive income, it does not count. It's wage income, employment income. It's done off of, now again, I will say, we'll talk about this, but provisional income is a word used for figuring out if Social Security is taxed or not. And you have to be above certain levels, like 32,000 if you're married filing jointly, 25,000 if you're single. It does not go up with inflation since they started in 1983. It has not gone up one time with inflation. So used to be a lot of people didn't pay taxes. Now most of the people I talk to pay taxes. But provisional income is all of your earned income through wage and 1099 earned income. And then what happens is that they'll add half of your Social Security benefit, all of your municipal bond interest. And if it's above those brackets, then you're either going to pay 50% in taxes or 85% in taxes. Hopefully that answers the question.
Perfect.
Next
Thank
slide.
you, Dave.
You bet. Oh, let me stay on that slide real quick. So that's if you apply before. Let's go to the next slide. If you apply after, it's called delayed retirement credits, DRCs, delayed retirement credits. Except for the first year on 67, full retirement age is 8% a year. You grow 8% a year guaranteed. I have been a pretty good wage earner my entire life. I have about a $3,000 year, a little over a year ago. I delayed it for a year, and I still am delaying it. And I gained 5.9% COLA and 8% I gained, with delayed retirement credits. So it's whatever your benefit was at full retirement age. It doesn't compound. That's there's no compounding with the delayed retirement credit. There is with COLA, but it does grow. I mean, mine grew over $400 last year, my benefit alone. Next slide. That delayed retirement credits is a big deal. Big deal. Can delay up to 70. So I'm a believer, if you know the individual benefit, which we just went over, and I go over those they're certainly just kind of hitting the tops of things. When we're coaching together, if you coach with me, we go much more in depth, role play, get attachments, book to read, etc. But if you know the individual benefit, the spousal benefit, survivor benefit, divorce survivor benefit in restricted application, which isn't used very much anymore, but we still go through it. Then 80, 85, 90% of all questions that'll be thrown your way. So in the spousal benefit, PIA stands for primary insurance amount. That's your amount at full retirement age. Dave's PIA is $2,400. Amy's primary insurance amount's $1,000. Dave takes his. Amy takes hers. The higher one always gets the full benefit, $2,400. Amy can either take her benefit or she can drop her benefit and take half of Dave's, whichever is higher. Can't take them both. Well, what's she going to do? She's going to drop hers and take half of Dave's. And a question I always ask, is this done automatically or do you have to ask for it? And interestingly enough, it's done automatically through the deeming rules, deemed to be a higher benefit. Okay? Next slide. So here we're talking about survivor's benefit. My wife always says nobody gets out of here alive, and how true is that? Dave and Amy are married, and I didn't want any discounting here, so I said they're both over full retirement age. Dave's benefits $2,000, Amy's $1,200. Who do you think dies first? Guy does, 75% of the time. Dave kicks the bucket. Amy, she can either keep her benefit and don't take Dave. She can drop her benefit and take Dave. She can't take them both. What's going to benefit her the most? Yeah, drop her benefit at $1,200. Jump up to Dave's at $2,000. Gives her $800 more in her pocket. Now, it's less than the $3,200 that was family benefit, but she can jump up to that $2,000 benefit. Have to ask for it? Done automatically. All right. Now, I will say this. Survivor benefits file and suspend went away with the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, implemented on January 1 of 2016. But there still is file and suspend with survivors benefits. So if one of the spouses dies, you can take that widow's benefit and take it at a discount. If it's age 60, it's going to be discounted 28.5%. You only get 71.5%. But you can let yours grow and grow and grow and grow and earn all the delayed retirement credits and turn it on at 70. Or vice versa. You could take your benefit and let the widow's benefit grow, but it only grows up to full retirement age because it doesn't earn delayed retirement credit. So most of the time, if yours is going to get bigger, it's the advantage of taking the widow's and letting yours grow. When you turn yours on, there is no discount. So file and suspend is still in good standing with Social Security Administration. Next slide. That survivor benefit has to be asked for. It's not given automatically. Divorce spouse benefit, yeah, if you're divorced, remember those four things? Married for 10 years, consecutive years. Currently unmarried for you, not your spouse, ex-spouse. Third is your ex is at least 62. The fourth is the divorce was 2 years ago or longer. Those four things line up. You can take and get benefits from your spouse just as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? Because married couples get more options. Doesn't always help you, but there is more options out there for married than singles. Next slide. Coordinating spousal benefits. These used to be two. These used to be file and suspend and restricted. They're twin brothers and sisters. The file and suspend went away with the exception on individuals for spouses, with the exception of survivor benefit. But go to the next slide here. If your restricted application is still around, it's only about 17 months left on it. But you've got to be born before January 2nd of 54. So you're like 68 years and 7 months. And it's got to be done before you're 70. So there's a tight window. If you had the full benefit, it'd be about 17 months worth. But go to the next slide. And this gets complicated, but I'll just kind of walk you through this, called this restricted application. Not many people can do it now because there's just not as many available from age. But Amy, 66 plus. I didn't want any discounting. Dave was born before January 2nd of 54. So he's at least 68 years and 7 months. Dave's PIA is 2,400. Amy's PIA is 1,000. Amy has to take hers. But Dave can start and stop his benefit, let it grow the delayed retirement credits because he's full retirement age, and in turn he can go and reach out and get half of Amy's 1,000, which is 500, is a spousal benefit. How cool is that? That 500 bucks or 6,000 a year is free money. Free money. Doesn't have to be paid back. You have to ask for this. It isn't done automatically. Tons of people don't ask for this because they don't know it's available. But even if you got 3-4 months left, just think on this scenario, you're going to make $1,500, $2,000, and it doesn't affect your spouse in any way. So it's just really, really cool. I mean, it's just called restricted application, but you got to be born before January 2nd of 54. Okay, and that's a little more complicated, but we go through that on our one-on-one coaching. Next slide. This was the most wild. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I started reading that Social Security personnel, they cannot give you advice. I asked my lawyer, my banker, my CPA, and I said, hey, do you guys know Social Security? None of them really did. I said, who do you refer to? Meaning I thought it was like an advisor. They all said Social Security Administration they refer to if my client needs advice. They can't give advice. They can just give your highest benefit right now. In fact, on the next slide, if you want to go to it, Brady, it says it right out of their program operational manual for the workers at Social Security. It says provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Is that wild? Don't give advice. Give the highest benefit you're entitled to. Don't give advice. So as advisors, what kind of information do we give? That because you need a lot more. It isn't just a punch in a figure for everyone. Everyone has different lifestyles and different makeups. So, I want to know what their health is like. Social Security can't ask that. I want to know how long they think they'll live. How long did your mom and dad live and brothers and sisters? They can't ask that. What kind of assets do you have right now? They can't ask that. What are your expenses? Can't ask that. When did you want to take? No, they can't ask that. Hey, you're in great shape. Are you taking any drugs? What kind of drugs are you taking? They can't ask that. We can. I'm telling you what, if you don't know Social Security, you compete against Dave Pimper, you're going to probably lose that business because I can't tell you how many times people come to me for only Social Security questions, and I end up doing business with them from the investment or fixed index or life side. And I'm not a life guy, but I mean that insurance side. Yeah, happens all the time. And when you do Social Security workshops, I tell you what, it isn't just 10,000 people turning 65. It's 10,000 people turning 61, 62, 63, 64, 65 through 70. They're all about 10,000 a year. 100 grand of people are turning that age, called in-service non-hardship withdrawals. Called one yesterday. They didn't have it available, but many companies do. They're working there, and they can take their money out and roll part of it or all of it into an IRA. I do it with a third of my business comes from in-service non-hardship withdrawals. Next slide. Any questions, type them in. We're just about done. I always say consider all your income streams. There's the 5 pillars of income, I call it. So Social Security, it's the worst water cooler talk. Hey, I took it 62, you should too. Hey, I took it 70, you should too. That's like saying, I love the color broccoli and you should too. No, it's all individual. Most flexible, claim at your right time, not the right time. And, when you're looking at break even, don't forget about that survivor's benefit, because my mom's been on my dad. She's 99 in September, and she's been on my dad's survivor benefit for, 17 and a half years. Next slide.
Dave, we did have a question come in.
Okay.
What happens to Social Security money after death?
Say you're single. It's done. Your beneficiaries don't get anything from it. If you're married It will go to your spouse if they elect it for a bigger benefit. If you're a divorced spouse and all those four things line up, you can do that also. But Social Security is guaranteed for your lifetime and or the spouse's lifetime. But that's it. Then it's done. Yep.
Gotcha. And we did have another one. A follow-up question
Okay.
is, do life insurance proceeds or inheritance affect Social Security?
No, it does not. Does not. Nope. The only thing that really affects Social Security, when you look at that provisional, income, you know what? Let me go back on this now. Let me go back because I may have missaid something. When there's an earnings adjustment before full retirement age, that's where it's only earned income. But if you're looking at taxation, then the provisional income comes in. All earned income is in that taxation. We'll go through it here. I think we'll go through it in a little bit. So there's a difference between earnings of holding, half of your money back or all of your money taken from you, and taxation. Because taxation isn't just, I may have misspoke on that before because I was thinking earnings, but it does include all of income coming on in. Okay? So let's go to the next slide, Brady. And those are the 5 pillars of income: wages, pensions, income producing assets like 401ks, RMDs on traditionals of 72, and social. But social is the most flexible of all of those income sources. Next slide. So, and as we're kind of getting close to the end here of the slides, when to claim your Social Security, that's what everybody wants to know. When should I claim? There's just a lot of things to consider. I mean, you got your own benefit, you have spousal benefit, divorce benefit, survivor. What's your personal health history like? What kind of expenses? What kind of assets? I mean, on and on and on. It gets complicated. That's why so many people don't really understand it and they need help. But I can coach you up. I can teach you. Get a complicated subject to make it simpler for you. Next slide. Remember, 3 ways to get coached up. Social Security seminars, if you haven't got, now if you have enough appointments, that's one thing. But if you don't have enough appointments, my gosh, Social Security seminars, I mean, $2,750, guaranteed 35 signups. I'm telling you, it's one of the better deals that are out there right now. But Social Security seminars are hot. I mean, people want that information. They've been cooped up in the pandemic. They want the information. They want to talk to a human being. We coach you up, and we coach you up on Social Security claiming. 3 coaching sessions. Doesn't have any cost to you. IAMS. The FMO pays me. They stipend me to do that. Retirement Boss Radio runs, I think this last one was about $3,400 is what this guy was in this big city. Got a good station, good time, 10 o'clock in Saturday morning. I'll tell you what, we coach you up on Social Security because a lot of the appointments come in from Social Security, about a third of them. Or just for $800, I'll coach you up on 4 sessions so you really understand Social Security. All of those, you can use me anytime after that. I'm always available to answer your questions, by email or live. Let's go to the next slide. There's an old saying, it says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes. You heard something here? You like to talk? You can go ahead and put the poll up, Brady. But this poll is that you'd like to talk to me to see if Social Security could be something that could enhance your practice. And I'll tell you right now, if you use it the right way, it'll increase your production. But I'm coaching people up on the ins and outs of Social Security claiming. If you'd like to meet, we talk for 15, 20 minutes. It's a pretty short conversation, but we're kind of just get a feeling of what's your practice like, what are you doing, what's the kind of products, do you work at the pre-retired or just retired? Do Social Security questions come up? I mean, I'm telling you, if they don't, I'm surprised because that's a big thing of when to collect. But if you want to mark yes, Brady Pelzer, who's our co-host today, and thank you, Brady, by the way, of being our co-host. He will call you here shortly. It'll be today. Hey, if you mark yes, don't. I mean, don't dodge Brady's calls. I mean, don't. If you don't want to talk to me, then mark no. That's great. But if you want to talk to me, yeah, and then Brady will get you on my calendar, and we'll talk and see if there's something there to help you. But this is for lead generation. Social Security alone, that information will make you a better advisor, but we want it to put money in your pocket. So you hook it with a lead generation source, seminar marketing, radio marketing. Brady, is there any other questions or comments before we close this poll down and end our webinar?
Looks like no additional questions have come in, and certainly anybody that marked yes, I'll be reaching out, getting that connectivity garner between you and Dave, and certainly do look forward to talking to everybody on this call.
Yeah, I will say one quick thing. We were doing a Social Security workshop. It's been a couple with Steve Murray, the owner of IAMS. This has been a couple of weeks ago, but it was a good question. It was talking about the software. When you coach through Social Security seminars or Retirement Boss Radio, you get free software, Social Security software, for 3 months. It's great software. It's by a company called Zurich, which has been around forever, and it's very good software, but there's no cost to you. And that's really what is impressive to the client, that you've got this 11 or 12 page color, color information just for them. So we can certainly go through that if you mark yes. And I can see here we're almost, there's been a couple of you that haven't marked, but if you can mark yes or no, we'd appreciate it. But thank you very much for taking time out today, Brady. Thank you for your time, and hopefully you'll have a great, productive rest of your week.
Thank you as well, Dave. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks everybody for attending today.
Thank you. Bye.